City of Storytellers, written and read by Shehrazade Zafar-Arif. Prologue, 18 years ago. The saint would protect them, Ali's mother told him, just as he protected the city from storms. Huddled under a bridge, they watched as the skies groaned and cracked open, and the first monsoon of the season arrived in Karachi with the audaciousness of an unwanted guest. As night settled over the city, the roads transformed into rivers, cars bobbed along like unsteady boats, and pedestrians waded through knee-deep water, hefting their belongings over their heads. Everyone who could seek shelter did so. Those who couldn't turned to prayer. Trembling in the circle of his mother's bony arms, Ali whispered, "Will we drown?" In the cavernous darkness under the bridge, the faint threads of lightning illuminated only pieces of her. The harsh lines of her sun-weathered face, the wide, cold, dark eyes identical to his, all more familiar to him than his own reflection. As she wrapped her shawl more securely around him, he felt her heartbeat pressing into his back. "Not as long as the saint protects us," she said. "Do you remember the story I told you?" Ali shook his head, even though he did, because he wanted to hear her tell it again. The sea was raging, the storm destroyed all the fishing boats, and so the saint dipped his bowl into the water and caught the sea. He scolded it and ordered it to calm, and since then, Karachi has been protected from storms. As if her words had a magic of their own, the storm seemed to recede in Ali's mind. His mother's stories always had a way of making their world come alive, transforming the harsh, dreary city into something enchanted, as if it were a slumbering sea beast curled along the coastline, coaxed into wakefulness by her voice. She had a story for every occasion. After an explosion had destroyed a mosque down the road from the empty plot where they'd been sleeping, leaving Ali with nightmares, she had told him about the 4 patron saints that guarded Karachi from disaster. His favorite was the saint who had stopped the storm. He would picture an old man sleeping under the waves, stirring whenever the sea beast was in a destructive mood, to calm it with his enchanted bowl. Ali pictured the saint's power sweeping through the city now, over the web of streets and bridges, the maze of ancient stone buildings and minaret spires and looming high-rises. Like a mother drawing a blanket over a sleeping child, he cast his protection over the fishermen in their boats and the families in their houses, and those for whom, like Ali and his mother, the streets were their only bed. Soothed by the thought, lulled by the sound of water streaming off the side of the bridge, he drifted off to sleep. The storm no longer seemed so menacing. His mother woke him as the morning call to prayer was ringing out and told him they needed to move on. Ali was used to this. The police were quick to round up any beggars who loitered in one place for too long. As he scrambled to his feet, stomach twisting with the familiar pangs of hunger, he saw an old man washing his face and hands with the dirty rainwater from a puddle, performing wuzu in preparation for prayer. Nearby, a young man was sprawled on the cracked footpath, smiling dreamily, his blown-out pupils reflecting the glinting raindrops clinging to the underside of the bridge. Ali and his mother gave him a wide berth. Muddy water still lay on the streets, washing the city in a sickly brown veneer like an old man's rotted teeth. But in the daylight, Karachi stretched and roused itself, shaking off the beating delivered by last night's storm. Vendors set up their stalls, donkeys dragged overloaded carts past honking rickshaws, and women hung their washing from the balconies of wind-weathered buildings. Ali clutched a corner of his mother's dupatta as they emerged from under the bridge and crossed a busy intersection where dust caked the windshields of the cars stalled in traffic. Sometimes he daydreamed about driving a car, one of the sleek, fast ones that seemed to swim untouchable through the busy roads. They usually had tinted windows, which occasionally slid open, just wide enough for a hand to drop a wad of rupees into a waiting palm. A woman with a whining baby on her hip tapped on the window of a pickup Jeep with two uniformed men sitting in the open truck bed, both holding gleaming rifles. One of the guards caught Ali's curious gaze and winked. He unstrapped the gun and pointed it at them, pretending to take aim. The woman with the baby darted off, and his mother went rigid. But Ali stared back in fascination. Was this what it meant to be powerful, he wondered, that you could elicit such fear without even putting a finger on a trigger? The light changed, and the jeep drove off, the guards laughing. With a huff of irritation, Ali's mother tugged him along, ignoring the cars she would usually send him to beg at. People were more likely to give money to children, and he usually had more luck on his own. Once, a woman had bought him an orange instead. His mother had been annoyed, but the sweet sour tang of its pulpy skin had been the best thing he had ever tasted. Where are we going, Ummi? Ali demanded. His legs ached, and he wished she would carry him. She glanced at him and said, in that conspiratorial storyteller voice, We're going to visit the saint.